Title, Author, and Language in PDFs. Accessibility and Practice. Colorado Department of Labor and Employment. Next, we are going to talk about document title, author, and language. Although my document is already saved under a document title in my File Explorer, the actual document title that an assistive technology program will read out is actually in its document properties. So I'm going to go to File, Properties, or Control-D, and I'm going to open my document properties for my document. As you'll notice, my file name appears. It's called accessible version -word _ Google Doc assignment .docx and then 2, because I have 2 versions of it. But the title is actually the title that I am going to have as it reads out to users of assistive technology. And this title is going to be a little bit more descriptive. Because the first heading in my document is Progress Report for the Unit, and it seems like a good overarching title for my document, I have used Progress Report for the Unit as my title, as it is descriptive and encompasses the entire document's information. I want to make sure this title is descriptive and concise, and it's not, 100 words long and requires someone to keep hearing that title every single time they navigate back and forth from the document window to another window, right? I want to make sure it's concise. Under Author, typically when a document is downloaded, like from Google or Word, the author automatically will be indicated by the username of that user. So for example, for me, it could be OtterB or the BRO or my initials or something like that. But since I work for an organization, and although I hope to be around forever, I might switch positions or I might work for another place someday. I want to make sure that I leave the author as vague and generic as possible so that if I'm no longer here, this document can still be sustainable forever and always. So in my organization, I usually put either CDLE for Colorado Department of Labor and Employment, or I put Division of Labor Standards and Statistics for the division that I work for. I don't put DLSS because that division is not as well known for its acronym, and most people wouldn't know it by its acronym. You can put the subject and keywords in the document properties. Especially if you're posting to the intranet, this will help with SEO and the ability to find the document better, but this is not required for accessibility. The last thing you want to do before you leave the document properties menu is to go to the Advanced tab, and you want to make sure the language is updated under Reading Options. You want to make sure the language actually matches the language of the document. My document's language is in English, so when a screen reader program reads out the language, it's going to read it in English and using an English accent. But if the document was in Spanish, but my language was identified as English, then the screen reader program would read the document in Spanish using an English accent, which probably would affect the pronunciation and understandability of the document. So again, we want to make sure the language matches the language that the document is written in. This language is in English, the document is in English, so we're good to go. Now I'm going to select OK to save my edits, and now my document has a descriptive and concise title, a sustainable author, and the language is appropriate and identified. Find more videos on our YouTube channel at CDLE_DLSS.